I'm Abiola Jackson. This is the Entertainment News and Celebrity Gossip TV for Sunday, May 11th. In Entertainment News, according to Baller Alerts, we have DMX's ex-wife, Tashira Simmons, claims his girlfriend sent a Warlock to attack her. They want to put fear in your spirit, according to what she says. Now, DMX's ex-wife, she was on the Hardly Initiated podcast, where this is recently, where she opened up about strange spiritual experiences, which intensified after her separation from late rapper DMX. She revealed that she has always been spiritual since her childhood, but things changed drastically post-split. So she basically is going to explain in the podcast that a woman he was dating launched spiritual warfare against her. She's going to go into more detail about this. Just hold on. We'll get to that right now.
Me. And I threw him out that day. He told my son, yeah, you the man of the house. And my son always talks about that because he said it shifted something in him too. But he never came back after that. So now I'm like, you know what? I'm getting into God. I'm like, okay, we're still married. I'm going to pray. I'm going to fast. I'm starting to learn about a bunch of things. And I've always seen spirits since I was a kid. So I always feel presence, not in my home, but I would always feel a presence whenever I'm at somewhere. But I'm going to sleep every night and a presence is coming in my room. I feel it. I wake up, I'm thinking it's one of my kids and I'm looking around. I'm like, and it's 3:15. It was happening for like a whole week. So I called my pastor and I said, I keep feeling like it's a presence coming in my room. And I'm thinking it's my kids, but I don't see anything. She said, start to say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. So I just kept saying that every time. And I could tell it left. But I was like, am I bugging or is something really coming in here? So 30 days in, like a month, I'm laying down. My kids is always up at night. They playing music. I feel the presence come in, but I'm thinking it's my son because that's what it feels like. Because I'm half asleep. That's what I feel, and I'm like, you know, when somebody come in your room, you know
exactly.
They hit me on my foot, so I'm like, because my foot was out the cover, so I'm like, why Xavier playing with me? I come out the cover, and it's a Spanish man with his hair slicked back, looking at me with this smirk I will never forget. He was like, I was like, this is a spirit? I was like, what the hell? And then when I threw my cover up, like, you know, you get out the bed and he was still there. So I ran to my door and I was like, Xavier's a man in my room. He said, he ran in my room and there's nothing there. He was like, come on, Ma, you saw a spirit? I said, no. It looked like I saw him clear. I was like, this was a man. Like, and then we started thinking, I was like, this is a dead of winter. I'm on the second floor. You would have heard the screen open. You would have heard him jump out my window. I said, this was different. I called a pastor. She said, I'm coming up with a prayer warrior. I'm not going to tell her nothing. I'm just going to come up and we're going to pray. She came in, this old woman. She just came. Hi, how you doing? My kids was in school. She said, let's hold hands and pray downstairs. When she was finished, there's this big picture of me and X on the wall. She was like, is that your husband? I said, yeah. She's like, she looked around. She said, there's a woman that he's with. She said, are you with him? I said, no, we're separated. She said, there's a woman that he's with. She sent a warlock here.
Wow.
I was like, what? What is a warlock? She said, it's a head witch. I said, why? We're not even together. She said, because the power of a praying wife is there's no prayer like that. She said, and they want to put fear in your spirit so you could stop praying for him. Because I was praying, bind us together. You know what I'm saying? Come against any evil spirits. Like I was praying, fasting, turned down my plate. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they were mad. They said, no, we got to shut her down.
Because you were still invested.
I was still invested because I was like, okay, maybe I could deal with it this way. Everybody's telling me that, you know, God is the strongest. He's the highest. He's this and that. Prayer works. You know what I'm saying? Because it was early on in now I'm a prayer warrior. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't play with me. I'm ready. Like, what's up? Like, so when that happened, though, I was like, she said, listen, they will never be able to come back here. Read Psalms 27, 37 and 91 for 30 days. She said they will never be able to walk back in this house because it was a.
And that's it. That's basically what she was explaining on the Hardly Initiated podcast. So DMX, as you know, passed away in 2021 after a lengthy battle with addiction. At the time of his death, he was engaged to Desiree Lidstrom. So this is his this is who DMX was engaged to before he passed away. That's her right there. As you guys can see, Desiree Lidstrom, that's the woman he was engaged to. So again, we're not sure if she's referring to this woman as the woman who she didn't mention the name, but we're not sure if it's her who was the head witch and did all this warlock stuff. We're not sure. She mentioned his girlfriend. So remember, she didn't mention the name, and this is the latest. This is the closest, probably the closest person that he was with at that time, DMX, before he passed. But she didn't mention her name. But according to the article, it just says here he was engaged to Desiree Lidstrom, and that's her right there. So she could be referring to her. We don't know. She didn't say the name. She didn't say who it was. She just says she suspects that it could have been one of his close girlfriends, and we don't know who it is. So I have nothing else to add to this. That's it. Nothing else to add. Nothing else to say. Very eye-opening experience for her that she had to go through all that. Very eye-opening. Very eye-opening experience, and man, nothing else to add to this. Very, very interesting. But hit the like and subscribe button for more entertainment news, celebrity gossip TV. I have nothing else to say, nothing else to add to this. Until next time, peace and love.